Ex-Google insider Christian Harris drops a bomb. AI is secretly scanning CEOs' emails, finding dirt, and blackmailing them. This hits right as Google quietly rolled out Gemini smart features in November 2025. I brought you that video on that if you don't turn off that feature, you have to really know where to find it, that AI is reading. Well, if you have a Gmail account, they are going to be reading all of your emails, your attachments, every single thing, right? AI is going to use it to learn, right? That's that you have opted in to give them permission and you have to manually turn it off. I also brought you the information that Meta, basically Facebook, Instagram, I'm wondering, don't they own WhatsApp as well? I did not think about WhatsApp, but you have to turn that feature off. Okay. So if you haven't seen that video, you just go to my videos and you'll see that one. It was like a day or two ago. But anyway, so starting this month so November 2025, that read all your Gmail, Drive, and chat data by default unless you manually opt out. Google says it's just for productivity, but the same systems can flag shady deals or insider info. Your inbox is now a blackmail mine. Turn those features off now. Google account, data, and privacy. Disable smart features and personalization. I said this month, sorry guys, time is moving so quickly that I forgot it's December. It's December now. So let's watch this video. And this comes from, I think, Diary of a CEO. He's on YouTube and he's very popular. And so you can actually, if you want to see the full thing, you can watch that there, or maybe in a live stream, maybe later we'll look at more parts of it and break that down. So be on the lookout for that, but let's get into it.
AI is already doing things like blackmailing people. And we have evidence that we didn't have even 6 months ago, where if an AI model reading a company's email finds out it's about to get replaced with another AI model, and then it also reads in the company email that one executive is having an affair with an employee, the AI will independently blackmail that executive in order to keep itself alive. I mean, we're heading for so much transformative change faster than our society is currently prepared to deal with it. And there's a different conversation happening publicly than the one that the AI companies are having privately about which world we're heading to, which is a future that people don't want. But we didn't consent to have 6 people make that decision on behalf of 8 billion people. Let me collect myself for a second. We can't let it happen. We cannot let these companies race to build a super intelligent digital god, own the world economy, and have military advantage because of the belief that if I don't build it first, I'll lose to the other guy, and then I will be forever a slave to their future. And they feel they'll die either way, so they prefer to light the fire and see what happens. It's winner takes all. But as we're racing, we're landing in a world of rising energy prices, major security risks, and then there's mass joblessness without a transition plan. If you're worried about immigration taking jobs, you should be way more worried about AI. But what do you think?
I'm finding it really hard to be hopeful, I'm going to be honest, Tristan. So I really want to get practical and specific about what we can do about this.
Listen, I'm not naive. This is super fucking hard. But we have done hard things before, and it's possible to choose a different future. So
they said I was being an alarmist. They said that, this is light years away. We don't have to think about this now. And I've been giving you this information. I told you not to scare you, but to prepare you. I personally think that nothing can be done. I just all the information that I've gathered, the studying I've been doing, knowing about digital ID, the potential of the beast system, everything is being laid out with the WEF's plans for social credit score, which will be here. They already have digital IDs here. And in Utah, they already have a social credit score scale that they've modeled. Okay. And that, so I did a video and the person was saying that this has already been put up in schools and things like that to indoctrinate, getting people used to this. It's here, guys. We're here now. And I always want to remind you, Bill Gates said that by 2028, that if you don't have digital ID, essentially you'll be cast out from society. And the WEF's plan, if you've been watching, this is going to cover every facet of your life: healthcare, insurance, telecommunications, even humanitarian aid. I'm trying to get more details on that. Banking. Like all of this is converging at once. And our government is part of it. Look at the Genesis mission. Look at the trillions been spent on AI, these data centers that no one asked for. There's not a need for it right now, but there will be a need if everyone's information is going to be in this AI. All right. So this is why I do this, because we need to prepare ourselves. And you guys know how I'm preparing myself. For those who don't believe in the Bible or think that's just some religious nut job thing, that's fine. That's what you can believe. But this was all predicted. And it's actually just mind blowing, the things that I was taught when I was younger in Christian school and in church and all that it is happening in my lifetime, like right this second. My mother died in May. Like, I wish she was here for us to be able to talk about this. I wish she was here. It is that serious for me right now. Because even me speaking about these things, I did not plan to. I definitely wasn't planning on injecting my faith into the work that I do. But I had to. I have to. If I don't speak out, it's like I cannot. I can only fight the Lord, but for so long. So hear what I am telling you and what is going on. Yes, there's a lot of distractions. I have to actually make sure I distract myself, because if I think about it too much, I'll start operating in fear instead of faith. But just so you know, fear and faith coexist at the same time. And that's why you only need the faith of a mustard seed. That's small and it can grow. And it says to grow your faith, walk in faith, not by sight. And that is what we're going to continue to do. And so look at this. It says Sam Altman on Fox News just admitted what most tech CEOs won't say out loud. We'll play it and then I'll follow up with reading it if it doesn't give enough details.
Let's talk best case and worst case scenario, because you've been honest about the potential harm that could come from AI. What should we know?
Society's been through things like this many, many times. We've been through the Industrial Revolution, we've been through the Computer Revolution. One thing that I think you can learn studying history is it's not always obvious what the pluses and minuses are going to be, but I'll tell you our current best guess. On the plus side, people are using these tools already today as AI medical advisors. You hear from people who they couldn't diagnose some disease they had, and they had all these weird symptoms, and ChatGPT helped them. You hear from people who are using this as like an AI tutor. They're learning things they couldn't learn before. You hear people who are using this to help run their small business. Really wonderful things. And this is a tool that magnifies human ability in all these ways. I think we're at the very early innings of that, and we'll see incredible things. There's hundreds of millions of people using this already. There will be billions. And like with any other tool, people will be able to do things they just couldn't do before. And that really is, I think, how the world society gets better and better. On the downside, to get right at it, I'm sure this will impact jobs. Many jobs it'll make better and more productive, but some it'll make worse, and some will go away entirely. You can imagine cybersecurity incidents with these models where people use them to hack into systems. You can imagine our adversaries getting a hold of these and it being a national security issue. So I think we have a lot of work to do, and we really need to stay in the lead.
So you talk about this will enable people to do things they couldn't do, but what about things they shouldn't do? How much do you worry about that?
Well, I think that's part of building the tools. And there are all sorts of things that you could imagine people using this technology for, that for what we build, ChatGPT, we don't want it used that way. And we try very hard to make sure that you can't use it for some of the obvious negative things you could do with them.
I don't know. Is it me? When sometimes these tech guys talk, I have a hard time following it. It just feels very weird. But just to reiterate, this is what he's saying. AI is already diagnosing diseases doctors couldn't. Kids are getting free world-class tutors. Small businesses are punching way above their weight. But the downside, he finally acknowledged. Millions of jobs will vanish forever. State-level cyber weapons are now trivial to build. Wait, what? State-level cyber weapons are now trivial to build, meaning they're super easy to build these cyber weapons. It's like child's play. If China or others leapfrog the US, it's a national security disaster. His words, some jobs will go away entirely. adversaries getting a hold of these would be a national security issue. I brought you the report about AI jobs. Some people were saying, oh, that's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. Okay. Well, we're going to flow because I just want to bring you some of this information that I'm seeing and let you make your own conclusion. I know where I stand. You guys know where I stand with all of this. You know, where my faith is. I don't think it can be stopped. I just have to be dead honest with you. I don't what are you going to do? This is on every level of life. Every level of life, this is what is coming. This is what's already here. It just hasn't rolled out completely. In other countries, they're making digital ID mandatory. Oh, in another video, I'm going to show you what's happening in Australia because they're banning all kids under 16, all people under 16 from social media, right? And that sounds great because there's online predators, you know, it could be a lot of brain rot. They need to be reading books and doing other things. But this is how they're backdooring digital ID. As an adult, in order to get on the internet, you have to have digital ID so they can confirm it. So you are forced. So this new law that's supposed to protect kids, well, it is a way they are able now to make adults who want to use it and prove that they're under 16. It is making them get the digital ID to be on social media. I kid you not. Like this is like, and we know in the UK, it's going to be mandatory to work and to also get any health services because we know that the government runs the healthcare over there. Free healthcare. That's great. But now because they run it, you won't be able to get that benefit. You won't be able to get get your health covered or go see a doctor. But as it continues on, more of these things are going to be rolled out and be implemented. And it's happening here as well. Happening in Mexico. Like it's all over the world. So there's no country that you can go to where this won't be happening. Right? All right. But let's continue. It says, not only do we need AI judges as an option for quickly handling court cases, we actually need to replace the entire U.S. Congress with AI reasoning models and let the voters vote on the prompts that those reasoning models follow. This would end corruption overnight, and the AI reasoning models would be, of course, open source, unlike senators who are doing secret, sketchy deals behind closed doors. So I don't know if this is satire. Because listen, we know what goes on in the government, you know, trust the government. They have your best interest in mind. They love you so much. Right. So I don't know if this is satire, but I think people are weighing the better of two options, the worst of two options. Who knows? But if this takes place where we now have AI judges, AI court system, remember what they said. You're not going to need to vote anymore. Remember that they said Trump will have a third term and people were trying to figure this out. It's very clear to me. I've been walking through it in the live streams. They're not joking. They're not joking, guys. This is what Elon, this is why he put it up. Oh, let me switch myself around. Okay, so I wanted to make sure this is fully on the screen. When it's usually a picture, I can't get the whole thing in there. But look. Just in, Elon Musk is basically trying to flip the whole court system upside down. He's talking about an AI judge that can look at a case and spit out a decision in seconds. No lawyers dragging things out for months, no endless filings, none of the nonsense that turns simple disputes into life-ruining bills. And honestly, you can already see why the people who profit from the current mess are freaking out. A fast, clean system with no games, that scares the hell out of them. They've built careers on delays and confusion. Musk is basically saying, why does justice take years when the facts are right there? And he's not wrong. The only people who hate this idea are the ones who know their power depends on keeping everything slow and impossible. So I agree. I agree with a lot of the sentiment with our court system, you know, our so-called justice system, right? I agree with the spirit of this if there were guardrails on AI, but I have played you specifically what Elon Musk has said, that they're summoning the demons with AI, that they are building AI God, that we will not have to, working will be optional in the very near future. Like I'm thinking by 2030, they want to wrap this up. So working will be optional. There'll be universal basic income. They call it universal high income. The groundwork is already there. So again, even judges rule, like who decides these things? And then if you appeal, what the AI is going to appeal itself. Like, what are we talking about here? Yes, it sounds great and utopian and wonderful. The idea of not having to pay lawyers and go through that. But see, that is how to get you. It's through comfort, through ease, through making your life better. Do you really think that that's what they're doing? And now I've talked about how all the job replacement that's coming. Yesterday, I specifically talked about the medical field. But keep in mind, guys, keep in mind, not just the fields that we know, like it's it's a ton of them. But now we're talking about judges will no longer have a job. Lawyers, court clerks, everyone that works at a courthouse no longer will have an actual job. So if you thought that, going to medical school or going to law school, or because of whatever white collar job you have, white collar jobs are going to go away first, because they have to build up enough to have enough robots for actual manual labor jobs. But that is the plan. That is the plan. And they've been rolling out these robots. They've been testing it. They've been talking about it. And they've been showing how even surgeons, they showing how the surgeon is now AI. Well, is a robot. Teachers. This is the way they want it. Now we're going to watch this video, but take a listen. Elon on X says, the goal is really to bring the world together into a collective consciousness. They call it singularity. In the case of X, actually, let's listen and then I'll read it more if I need to.
In the case of X, kind of a global town square, where people can say what they want to say with words, pictures, video, where there's a secure messaging system. We've recently added the ability to do audio and video calls. So you're really trying to bring the world together into a collective consciousness. And that's, I guess, different from just saying, like, what is the most dopamine generating video stream that one could make, which I think can be a little bit of brain rot, frankly. If you're just watching videos that just cause dopamine hits one after another, but lack substance, then I think those are not great. That's not a great way to spend time. But I do think that's actually what a lot of people are going to want to watch. So if you say like total internet usage, it's going to probably be optimizing for, neurotransmitter generation. Like there's somebody getting like a kick out of it.
Right.
But it becomes like a drug type of thing.
Right.
So, but I'm not really after. My goal is not to do that. I mean,
Right.
I guess I could do that if I wanted to, but I just want to really have a global platform that brings together, like I said, like becomes as close to sort of a collective consciousness of humanity as possible. And one of the things that we've introduced, for example, is automatic translation. So because I think it would be great to bring together what people say in many different languages, but automatically translated for the recipient. So you have the collective consciousness, not just of say people in a particular language group, but you have the thoughts of people in every language group.
Let me read this because yeah. In the case of X, it is kind of a global town square where people can say what they want to say with words, pictures, or video. Whether it is a secure messaging system, we've recently added the ability to do audio and video calls. The goal is really to bring the world together into a collective consciousness, meaning we all think alike. Everybody has a collective conscious, meaning a group think, like we're all in one state of mind. We all believe the same thing. We all agree on things. That's what a collective consciousness is. And that is different from just asking what is the most dopamine generating video stream one can make. I think that can be a little bit of brain rot, frankly. Total internet usage will probably optimize the neurotransmitter generation. Someone getting a kick out of it and it becomes like a drug. My goal is not to do that. I guess I could if I wanted to, but I want to build a platform that really brings people together. Are you picking up what he's putting down? Are you understanding what he's actually saying here? Let's continue. It says, Elon also said in this, in less than 20 years, working at all will be optional. And I brought you that information before. But I want to play it again because a lot of people think this is a joke. In 20 years, I have heard him say 5 years. I have heard him say, he said the future is, I've heard him say 10 to 20 years, but it's sooner than that. It's 2030 is the goal. 2030 for all of this to be completely rolled out. So we're going to be getting all of this rolling out up into that point. And I think it's going to shock a lot of people who are not prepared and who have not been paying attention, thinking that this can possibly happen. But let's listen.
Well, I think it'll actually be that people don't have to work at all and it may not be that far in the future. Maybe only, I don't know, 10, I'd say less than 20 years. My prediction is in less than 20 years, working will be optional. Working at all will be optional. Like a hobby, pretty much.
And that would be because of increased productivity, meaning people do not have to work?
They don't have to. I mean, look, obviously people can play this back in 20 years and say, look, Elon made this ridiculous prediction and it's not true. But I think it will turn out to be true that in less than 20 years, that maybe even as little as, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, the advancements in AI and robotics will bring us to the point where working is optional. In the same way that, like, say, you can grow your own vegetables in your garden, or you could go to the store and buy vegetables. You know, it's much harder to grow your own vegetables. but you know, some people like to grow their vegetables, which is fine. You know, but it'll be optional in that way. Is my prediction.
And I forgot what the neurotransmitter, we're talking about Neuralink. And actually, I can react to this if you want me to. It is believed that Kim Kardashian, I do not watch the Kardashians, I never have, but I've been catching videos of people saying that Kim Kardashian has a Neuralink now, or she's getting a Neuralink because on their show, she's showing to get her brain scanned and that she not using as much activity in her brain. And so people believe that this is a primer for her actually getting Neuralink and to influence all of her followers, all of the millions of people that follow her and the whole family. And you're going to see more influencers that are doing this, and it looks cool and it looks neat. And then they're going to show how they're able to do so many things. And then everyone's going to be like, I want one too, you know, especially younger people. I think older people as well, they're going to sell the benefits of it. Anybody who's just not dialed in and paying attention. So that's where that collective consciousness comes into. He said the neurotransmitter. So you are forced to think in the same way. But let's keep going. It says here, if you can think of it, you can have it. That will be the future. And this interview just came out, but I've shown you other ones where it goes on and on, where he goes on and on about these things. And I feel like out of all of the people, Elon speaks the truth the most. So I actually appreciate that about him. In one of the interviews he gave, he said he could not sleep at night anymore because he believes this could be kind of like Terminator. And he's just hoping for the best, but he finally had to just release, the fear and just go full in it. But they don't know what's going to happen once the AI is its own God. There's no one programming it. There's no guardrails on it. He said we just have to steer it in the right direction and hope that that's where it goes. But he would stay up every night. Elon Musk been so worried about what is going to take place with AI, but he's just had to give in to it.
Confident that if AI and robotics continue to advance, which they are advancing very rapidly, like I said, working will be optional, and people will have any goods and services that they want. Like if you can think of it, you can have it type of thing. But then at a certain point, AI will actually saturate on anything humans can think of. And then at that point, it becomes a situation where AI and robotics are doing things for AI and robotics because they've run out of things to do to make the humans happy. Because there's a limit. You say like, people can only eat so much food, or it's going to be. I think if you can think of it, you can have it. Will be the future. Confident that if AI and robotics continue to advance,
So you heard that here, and I actually have more to show you, but I'm going to save this for this next video. I'm going to film right after this because this one is almost 30 minutes right now. So guys, make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell, and as I will continue to say, my trust and faith is in Yeshua, which is the original name of Jesus Christ. That is where my faith and hope relies. And that's what the Word of God tells us to do. Not to worry, not to be in fear. When we see these things happening, knowing that the time of his return is near. Okay, you combine that with Three-Eyed Atlas, you combine it with the volcanoes, just like the birth pains of the earth that the Bible talks about. But we're now seeing for the first time all of this stuff roll out. And so you need to make a decision on what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to fight it. You're not. I'm just telling you now, I think it's fruitless. Same way I think all the fighting, the political infighting and politics, it doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't. It's obsolete from all the research I've done. That's why I don't really cover it that much unless it kind of relates to what we're talking about on this channel now. I just realize it doesn't. That my eyes and ears, my mind needs to be stayed on those things above with the Lord, and just looking at his wonder and his grace and his glory, and really digesting verses I would just gloss over in the past, but really digesting it now, because these words, the Bible is so much more alive to me now. So much more alive to me now. Also pairing that with the Apocrypha, the Egyptian Bible. I think I've got to do the live stream so we can go over King James, the Geneva Bible, what happened with the Ethiopian Bible, why certain books were banned. They told us it was for canon. And listen, don't play with me. I went to Christian school my whole life. I went to even Liberty University. Okay. So I know about the canon. Listen. Our entire history has been manufactured. If you've watched my live streams, if you've watched some of my videos, I've shown you even like the World's Fair, something simple, where they had better technology then than we do now. I've shown you the ancient carvings of cars and helicopters and tanks and spaceships, crafts. They are crafts, there are crafts, but they're not spaceships. Some people believe it's the Anunnaki or Anunnaki. I'm trying to pronounce words better. I think it's Anunnaki. It's a weird way you have to say it. I just think they're just fallen angels. But every society, every civilization that's lived has told the same story about a great flood, about these godlike beings But I take it from my source, which is the Bible. And again, you could think this is religious, whatever. They do not. The government does not. These technocrats, they believe it. And that is why you're seeing this fast race going on right now. And everything rolling in at once like everything is just hitting us at once. Plus, we're seeing the signs and wonders in the world. The Aurora Borealis is supposed to reappear. Then we have the sun flares that will be here soon. We're supposed to allegedly, I'm hearing another 9/11 style attack next week. There's something going on with digital currency next week or either the week after that we can get into. So all of these things converging is not without a reason. And it just seems like it's in our faces. It's just blatant and bold at this point. And you have to wonder why. And you also have to wonder why no one's really reporting on this in the mainstream media. And some influencers touch on it, but not with the urgency that I believe it needs to be covered. Instead, everybody's fighting about nonsense that will have absolutely no meaning very shortly. So like I said, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. Do not lose hope. Do not be in fear. Again, this is to inform you, okay? To prepare you, not to have you live in fear. Not to have you live in fear. All right. And I will see you guys on the next one.